Hello class, welcome to this video on the GR 4.5C word problems involving volumes of cylinders. So first question, a company makes wax candles in the shape of a cylinder. Each candle has a diameter of 4 inches and a height of 7 inches. If the company used 7,561.12 cubic inches of wax, how many candles did it make? Use 3.14 for pi and do not round your answer. So if we look at a cylinder, if you go to your formula sheet, it would say that the volume of a cylinder, or a volume of a cylinder or prism, is capital B, capital H, or it will say capital B, lowercase h, but I like to use a capital H. Now this is the area of the base, right? Right here. So we got this is the area of the base. And so if you got a cylinder, we know that we were to draw out cylinder, we know that the base of the cylinder is a circle. And so we got the area is a circle, and that's going to be our capital B. Well, then what's the area of the circle? Well, according to your formula sheet, the area, so let's draw out the circle. So this is going to be for my base. According to the formula sheet, the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. And so therefore the formula for the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. So let's show you this on the formula sheet. So on the formula sheet, if you go your mathematics reference sheet, if you look for a prism cylinder, this is your formula for the prism/cylinder. And see if they give you the lowercase h, but I like to use capital H there. But capital B, remember, is the area of the base. Right here, area of the base. And so what's the base? It's a circle. What's the area of a circle? We got pi r squared for the area of a circle. And so that's why we plug that into there, okay? And we get V equals pi r squared h. And I like to use capital H instead of lowercase h. All right, so there's the volume, and we're going to use this volume for the cylinder every single time for these problems. All right, so now that we got the formula out of the way, it says that they give us the volume here, cubic inches, right, of wax, and they say how many candles did it make. So we're going to calculate the volume for one candle. Now remember, they said that the diameter is 4 inches. The diameter is the distance from end to end going through the center of a circle. Okay, so in this case, the distance here to here, that's my diameter. But the radius is half of that distance, okay, because it's the distance from the center to the edge of the circle. And so it's got to be half of that distance, okay? So the radius is 1/2 of the diameter. So in this case, the diameter is 4, which means that the radius has to be 2, all right? So we're going to put that here. So the radius is half of the diameter, which is 4, so it's going to be 2 inches. All right, and then we have that the height is 7 inches, because they told us that in the problem. And so we can plug it in. So the volume for one, let's plug in the volume here. This is the volume in general for the wax, right? So we're going to plug this in for the volume there. And we get pi times r squared, 2 squared, times the height, which is 7. Now remember, this is the volume for one candle. And so we need to multiply this by x so we can get the total volume depending on how many candles we use, right? So this is going to be the number of candles. And then this is the volume for multiple candles. Multiple candle volume. All right, so then we're going to just divide by the one candle to get how many candles we have. Right, so we got 7,561.12 equals, we got 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 7 is 28. So we have 28 pi times x. And we're going to divide both sides by 28 pi. And so we get x is equal to this right here. Now this divided by 28 pi, but we're going to replace pi with 3.14, right? And it's important that you put this bottom part in parentheses when you calculate it. So here I'm going to show you how, if you were to type it in, so we get the 75,000 or 7,561.12 divided by, in parentheses, 28 times 3.14. And so we get exactly 86 candles. All right, so that takes care of that question. Let's look at the next question here. A concrete pillar has the shape of a cylinder. It has a diameter of 6 meters and a height of 5 meters. If concrete costs $96 per cubic meter, okay, so we got $96 per cubic meter, that's important. How much did the concrete cost for the pillar? Okay, so we know the volume is V equals pi r squared h, right? And we have the diameter is 6, so if the diameter is 6, that means that the radius has to be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And we know that the height is 5. Okay, and they said that the cost is $96 per cubic meter. We'll get to that in a second. Let's calculate the volume. All right, so we got volume equals pi times r squared times height. So it's going to be 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. So we get 45 pi. And of course we can replace pi with 3.14. And we'll see what we get there. So we get 141.3. And that's cubic meters of concrete. But it says it costs $96 per cubic meter of concrete, right? So we have to multiply by the cost, right? So it's 96 times the volume is going to be the cost, okay? So we got $96 per cubic meter of concrete. And we're multiplying that by how much concrete we have in cubic meters. And so you can see that the cubic meters cancel, and that gives us the cost, the total cost of the concrete. Okay, so do that here. Let's see. So we got $13,564.80. Because remember, this is a cost. All right, and that takes care of that problem. All right, let's look at one more here. So a company makes wax candles in the shape of a cylinder. Each candle has a radius of 2 inches and a height of 6 inches. How much wax will the company need to make 230 candles? Okay, so we got the volume is pi r squared h for a cylinder. And the radius is 2, so we got r equals 2. We have the height is 6 inches, and we can plug it in. All right, so we got pi times 2 squared times height is 6. We got 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 6 is 24, so we got 24 pi. So 24 times 3.14. $75.36. Okay, so that's 75.36 cubic inches of wax. Now this is for one candle, and so we need to multiply this by 230 in order to make enough wax for 230 candles, right? So we got 75.36 cubic inches for every one candle. And we multiply that by how many candles we have, or we want to make. And so notice that candles cancel. we get the amount of the volume that we need for the candles. So we got 75.36 times 230. We got 17,332.8 cubic inches of wax. All right, that's going to do it for the video, guys. We found this useful. As usual, I'll see you in the next one.